Vibrational, divine, loving, and very harmonious blessings to each and every single one of you beautiful souls out there. Today is another very special message that is this one's really close and dear to my heart because, yesterday we covered, hey, what's up, primo? Juan Casares. Love you, brother. Yesterday we talked about Halloween and the mask that we wear, and it's fine to enjoy these moments in life, but to remember that, we've been wearing masks that we don't even are conscious of. And until we start doing that diligence and that inner work, we start discovering that what I thought I was, who I thought I was, what I thought, held me back was really, my invitation to freedom, my personal freedom. So before I begin, today is about the Day of the Dead. And I'm going to break that down on a physical level and on a spiritual level, because that's why I believe I'm here, is to break down, to invite people to see the connection between, the physical life and the spiritual life, because it's all interconnected. So welcome to Samadhi, where it's not about positivity, it's not about negativity, it's about authenticity, it's about rawness, it's about realness, it's about genuineness, it's about you watching this video. For you to be invited to discover and remember who you truly are, beyond your name, beyond your identity, beyond your belief, beyond everything that you can ever even imagine. So that is what Samadhi, Sea of Wisdom, represents and embodies, and I personally live along with my wife, with shout outs to my lovely wife, Alice Inouye. Juan Casares says, Happy November. I love that, brother. Happy November. I love that. So before we go into talking about what this 3 days represents, from yesterday to November 2nd, Jolene, welcome. Thank you for joining us. The love of my life, thank you for joining us. I really want to talk about the Day of the Dead because I don't think that I lived through what I lived through by accident. It was for a greater purpose. And Ali knows that we've helped people through the death process, people who lose, loved ones, and people who have committed suicide, and me personally, living through, Aron Madariaga, thank you for joining us. Me being personally pronounced, without any life in my body, and me being able to come back. Elsie, thank you for joining us, Elsie Torres. Me being able to come back and to experience behind the veil of what, eternal life really means and represents. Because one thing that I can personally attest to is that I was so afraid, of not death, but I was afraid of living, that I didn't really allow myself to live. But as a society, we're so afraid of death that we don't live, because the things that we fear are the things that are keeping us from living the life that we were designed and meant to live. So that's what this message is today. So I do want to give, credit where, credit is due, coming from a Mexican culture. And what they really represent and embody these 3 days is embracing the celebration of death. And that is something that I really believe and embody, that every single one of you are invited to my funeral whenever my day comes. But there's one rule to my funeral, is there's no crying. There's no, pour this, pour that, pour this, pour that. When people that come to my celebration, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a celebration. Because really, I think when we go to funerals, and I'm not judging, I'm just saying that we've been robbed from the experience of connecting with our loved ones, because I still connect with my loved ones, and to me, they're more alive than they were in the physical. Because in this physical, we have layers of perspectives of each other. But when we lose a loved one, we actually have more clarity of access and more purity of relationship if we would allow ourselves to open up to that. So I really love what these 3 days represent, is celebrating, and honoring our ancestors, our loved ones. And I really want to talk about how do we honor, value, and embody, appreciating our loved ones. Because working with many people who's lost, pets, people, because even pets are very dear many people that I know, because they're like family members. So it's the soul, it's the essence within the body. It's not just the body. So one thing I do want to share is that how do we honor our fallen ones, our transcended ones? Because I don't really resonate with the word death, because to me there is no death. I've literally experienced what you call death, been pronounced dead, like literally clinically pronounced dead. And several times I'm not going to get into that, but I've had several death experiences, several, supernatural experiences that I didn't know what I didn't know back then. But coming into meditation, coming into, the vibrational awareness of living eternal life, because vibration cannot be created nor destroyed. It's always, always flowing. And the thing about it is coming from that experience, being in a very dark and very negative space, if we call it that, is that I had so much judgment against myself. And I'll give you guys a preview of what I experienced, just in a nutshell. Is I couldn't stand myself, and I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. And give me 1 second while I share this video, because I do want to share it to our Samadhi page. So when I experienced that personally, I realized that there's more life than we've been told, than ever before. And me personally being able to experience, unconditional love, profound peace, clarity, and it was even like a little dialogue within that space, because my body, it was so full of trauma, so full of, self-sabotage, self-inflicted violence towards myself, that when I tasted that experience, it was a little dialogue within myself, because my body couldn't believe the source of my being was unconditional love. Like, it could not, the brain couldn't calculate, couldn't compute it. It couldn't embrace it. And there was a moment where I had to let go. I mean, you just have to let go when you're in that presence. And when I let go, I just felt like covered and embodied with pure unconditional love. Even the words that I'm sharing don't do it justice, because it transcends the words that I'm sharing right now. So, is when I had that experience, and I was using drugs at the time, but I'm going to tell you, when you experience consciousness, it transcends any limitation that you can think of. There is nothing that can stop consciousness. And it's even been studied to this day that, nothing can stop consciousness. It is the most powerful force, the most powerful, mysterious, unknown, and untapped force that we are barely beginning to get a little glimpse of. And that's why I'm so passionate and love what I do, and love what my wife and I do. So back to the story. When I come back, it's like, I couldn't believe it. Like, even coming back from unconditional love, I still couldn't believe it. And I had to go through my lessons and, experiences in life. But when I started meditating, this is what I desire to share, especially on this Day of the Dead celebration, for celebrating the dead. Because the greatest way to celebrate the dead is to die to who do you think you are. Is to die to the limitations and the illusions that you've been believing, that you've been embracing and protecting with dear life, because you're afraid of the unknown, because you're afraid of something that you have no idea, because this has no idea who we are. Just look at a simple example of when you first ride a bike. Why are we scared to ride a bike? But 6 months from now of riding a bike, like, we ride it like nothing. Because in the innate part of our being, there's no fear. If we step into it, we realize the potential that we've always had. And you can use this practice with anything: riding a bike, playing sports, dancing, singing, taking on a new venture, taking on a new business, taking on a new relationship, taking your own relationship, because we think having a relationship is challenging. But to be able to step into freedom and the trust and the love that you are destined to have for yourself and live for yourself. Why is it so challenging? Have we ever asked that question? Why is it so challenging to embrace unconditional love? Why is it so challenging to embrace the inner peace that's always there? I mean, inner peace is not a search. It's not a job to do out there. You'll never find inner peace outside of yourself. And I'm telling you, because you're talking to someone 15 years before my 5 years of doing what I do now, but 15 years, close to 15 years, I could be off a little bit, but close to 15 years of looking out there, waiting for a teacher, a guru to tell me that I was, good enough, that I was worthy enough, that I was there enough. And there are gurus that are, sharing the genuine message, but there's also gurus and teachers and coaches that are sharing that you need to attain something. And no disrespect, because, if when I was confused, that's the same message I would give you, because I can only share with you what I understand about myself. So I'm here to share with you that you are already there. You don't lack anything. You're not doing anything wrong. It's just your perspectives are misdirected, misguided, looking outside of yourself. Because when you shine the spotlight, when you put in the microscope within yourself, you'll discover more than you can ever even imagine. And you're looking at an embodied testimony of that. Because if you were to tell me that I'd be here to this day doing what I do now, I tell you, you're crazy. I tell you that you're confused. You're confusing me with somebody else. So I'm gonna read the comments. So literally, Day of the Dead is honoring our fallen, honoring those that sacrificed their life for us to be where we are at now. And on all sides of life, the spiritual masters, the teachers, the people who have, caused harm in this world. Because if you think about it, if we wouldn't have experienced that, we wouldn't be where we're at right now. And, people that are in the military, people, that are in the medical industry, they can only do so much with what they have. And ignorance is not bliss. Being unconscious is not serving the world. It is on a smaller level, but on a grander scale, we need people. And that's why I invite you guys to take the time to be more conscious, self-conscious, observe yourself, ask yourself those important questions. Who am I? And what do I think about myself? What do I believe about myself? And what is that reflection in life? What is that reflecting in life? What is my belief about myself? Because it's not about anybody else out there. It's not about the president. It's not about politics. It's not about, religion. It's not about, the way that we are mistreated and misjudged. That's all distractions. Because when we take that personal responsibility within ourselves, we'll see and embody the heaven on earth that's already here now. Because I don't see what everybody else is seeing. What I see is divine order being fulfilled so we can all come together and unite and assist and serve each other. Because the more that I open my eyes, the more that I see what I couldn't see before. So now I'm going to read. So honor the fallen, honor the dead, because I'm telling you, there's nobody dead. And if you don't believe that, then I respect your belief. This is just my opinion. I've always said every time, don't believe what I say, believe what you feel. Because if you believe what you say, I'm just programming you. And I'm not here to program you. Believe what you feel. Question even what you're listening to. Question even what you're seeing, even right now. Don't believe nothing. Because when we believe, we ignore the intelligence that's always waiting to guide us. That's always willing and waiting to direct us and to strengthen us and to enliven us. But when we listen to this, we listen to the past, because this only knows what the past is. It doesn't know. 5 minutes from now, it doesn't know what's going to happen. But your heart knows where you're going to be, how you're going to be, how you're going to get there, what it takes to get there, who you're going to attract, what parameters, diameters, calculations, components, in every question mark of your existence. That's what I'm here to do. That's what Ali and I love to do. So that's all I ask you to do. Don't believe anything that you hear on any of the videos that we do. And I invite you to don't believe what anybody says. Because when you start questioning, let me give you guys a little simple exercise that it'll transcend your life. It'll transform your life. So whenever you hear something, and I have my cousin on here, Juan Cáceres. I love you, brother, because I remember that even when I thought I knew, you would always question, and that is the embodiment of a strong spirit, because that spirit within you wouldn't let you just believe what you hear. So congratulations, brother, because I love that about you. So not to put you on the spot, but I think it's a great quality, because even in the educational department, we're told to just believe and absorb. We're not told to question, to imagine, to create, to awaken our intuition, to awaken and restructure our brains, because our brains are so analytical, so judgmental, that they're not open, they're not curious, they're not full of wonder, they're not full of joy, they're not full of excitement in openness to the unknown. So I know I'm going on a whole nother, but it's just coming through. And this is what I invite you to do. Whenever you hear something, question it. Because when you question it, you're telling the brain, you're not my master. You're not like the source of my truth. And when you question it, you start to rest and relax into the center of your being. And the more you practice this, the stronger this channel is going to open up, because it's already open, but the communication that you have with yourself is what opens or closes those floodgates. So manifest your truth by speaking your truth. And I'll tell you, when I looked in the mirror, I couldn't stand that person. And that was my truth. But it wasn't my absolute truth. Because my absolute truth is whatever I believe it to be. And your absolute truth is whatever you believe your life to be. Nobody else has power over your belief. No institution, no organization, no teacher, no political party, no whatever. You are the only sole responsible guardian of your consciousness. And just be sensitive and open to what you allow yourself to believe. Don't believe everything. Question everything. So, that being said, is that I invite you to open up to the curiosity of what you don't know. Because what you don't know is that facing the fear, the risk. You don't know what's on the other side, but take it from me that I had to face things that I don't desire most people to do, because I had some like violent, perverted, destructive, hateful, violent thoughts towards myself. But what I realized, and I invite you to really reflect on, is look at the blessing. Because if I wouldn't have been aware of those thoughts to let them go, I wouldn't have discovered what my inner deeper truth is. Because there's layers of truth. And the more you mature and you compost, or you let go of the identity that you think you are, the more you'll awaken to the truth of who you always have been. So now I'm going to go read the comments. Thank you, brother. Thank you, primo. My cousin says, Juan Cáceres says, I literally was thinking about Nana Esperanza on my bike ride walk due to a flat tire. She's there, brother. And that's why people think I'm crazy. But I've talked to people that have died before. Well, let's just say died, because let me give you guys a little realization on that I could tell you from personal experience. I've been in many car accidents, and I've seen literally time stand still. And I can move. I can literally, I was blown away by the things I experienced. And this is one thing I wanna speak into that, primo, is that when our ancestors transcend, and I will be doing a Spanish video, so if you guys know Spanish-speaking people, please know that I'm going to honor the Day of the Dead, because it is a Mexican culture, and it isn't even a more ancient culture, but it gets shared within different cultures. So if you guys know Spanish-speaking, I will go in Spanish after this. So that being said, when I was pronounced dead, I wasn't dead. I was here. Everything shut down. And the energy, it moves around in the brain. And the brain goes on its perspectives of what it thinks and believes, and that's the near-death experience that you have. But the thing that blew my mind away is that I had perspectives that I wasn't good enough. And it transcended those beliefs, that I tapped into the unconditional love of myself that I had for myself that I didn't even know. So there is no near-death experience. Either I transcend or I don't, because my energy is still here. Once my energy has gone from this body is not utilized anymore. It can't come back. So I just want to clear that up, that I never had a near-death experience, but I say that so people that hear that term identify with it. But when I talk to people that have near-death experiences, we have a language that we communicate, and we're like, oh my gosh, like, you know, this person has experienced this. Because there's a language, there's a communication of eternal life that our vibrational souls know that can never be destroyed. And I invite you guys, and that's why I share and I love reminding people to meditate, because meditation is honoring death, because you're dying to all this that you think you are. And it's a very like nervous, kind of fearful experience in the beginning, because the brain doesn't want to shut down. The brain doesn't want to be told to stay quiet. It wants to be stimulated. That's why I say it's not about positivity, it's not about negativity. Because a positive stimulation, it's still entertaining the brain. A negative stimulation is still entertaining the brain. Because I came from very dark past. And I'm telling you, I was entertained and I was addicted to violence, to danger, to taking like major risks. And I thought that was good. So I'm telling you, the brain doesn't differentiate what's positive or negative, what's good or bad. It just needs to be stimulated. But once we stop stimulating the brain, boom, it's like, where'd you go? Where are you? So it's like giving you thoughts, because like, come back. Because the brain doesn't know who it is. The brain doesn't know it's just a mechanism for you to flow through. It thinks it's its own identity. And it's designed perfectly to do that. That's why when you look outside, you believe everything you see outside. But when it comes to believing what's inside you, there's doubt. When it comes to, and I'm not programming that, I'm just saying for the majority, because I've lived through that we've forgotten who we are. So when we are invited to who we are, because we all have experiences in our own special way, we've all been invited to rediscover, to remember who we are. And when we run from that, we're just stuck here, listening to the movie, the script that we were told, that we were influenced to believe. Now, that's not a bad thing, because that's the joy of coming back and remembering who you are. Because if I'm infinite consciousness, if I'm unconditioned consciousness, and I come into this world, what's the difference? If I'm unconditioned consciousness, there would be no difference. So we need contrast, because we came to experience contrast, so we can enjoy the joy of remembering who we are. Like when you first, like as a baby, you start like looking in the mirror and you start saying, that's me. Wow. Look at that. And you start, there's a joy that comes from that. So I just invite you guys to meditate, because meditation is the way that we could psychologically die, because the things that we're afraid to psychologically die to are the things that are killing us. Listen to the catch-22. The things that we're afraid to face, to transcend, because that's what death is transcendence. It's like moving beyond, breaking through, but you don't break through by going around. You don't break through by running. You break through by going through. Because when you go through those thoughts, you realize the illusions that they are. They're only in the past. They're not in your present. So embrace them and be grateful for them and let them go. I gave powerful nuggets, guys. If you guys never meditated before, please go back and listen to this message and take this into your meditation. Because let me tell you, you are never against you. If you cut your arm, I can prove to you that your arm will heal. Because you are with you. The very fiber of your being, the very center of your being is here for you. I got scars all over my body. I can show you guys that I shouldn't be alive to this day. But I am. Because the soul within us, it desires to do everything in its power to keep us, to live our purpose, to live our passion. But when we're not living our purpose and living our passion, slowly the body starts to let go. Because the soul, if it's not given the opportunity to discover its passion, it's like, okay, well, let me try another moment. Let me try another opportunity. And this body will be let go. And what I wanted to share with you, cousin, is that our Tia Esperanza, your Nana, is right here, right now. in our hearts, because this is what I love sharing with people. When you've had people in the physical, where do you feel them? You don't feel them out here. You feel their hugs and all that, yeah. But where do you feel them? In here. Because they're there. Even in the physical body, we're here. We're enjoying each other here. And if you're listening to this message, you're feeling this here. You're not feeling this here. You don't feel that here. Unless you start thinking, then you tap into emotions. Emotions exist here. They don't exist here. And I'm telling you that from personal experience. Emotions exist here. They're a biochemical reaction in the brain to the perspectives and the degrees of truths that we have. But when we start to let go and tap into the awareness of our being, this is feeling like feeling, because emotions are not feelings. They're mental reactions. They're not our truth. That's why you have emotions that, based on your perspectives, you'll experience a truth. And when you transcend that truth, you'll experience different emotions, because your emotions aren't real. They're not true. What is real is your awareness. And that is feeling. Feeling the life, the embodiment of truth within you. That's feeling. That is what the word feeling really means. You're tapping into your nervous system, your energy body. So, anyways, that's what we tap into when we realize and let go of thinking that we've lost someone. Even the fact that we say, oh, I've lost, my wife or my husband, my mom or my dad, my son or my daughter. You ask anybody that knows me, I don't feel sad or feel bad, because then I'm showing them with my vibration that it's real. What I do is I hold that space, I hold that strength, and I'm like, look, don't let your mind, because mind and brain are two different things. Don't let the brain confuse you. You haven't lost them. You lost the physicalness of them, but that's just because the ego, the brain, wants to see them. But when you realize they're here more than you can ever even imagine, you start to awaken and connect to a deeper truth within you, because they're inviting you to do that. Because you are alive more than this physical body. And when you start tapping into that, you'll start to feel more aliveness in nature, in animals, in the simplest of things will be alive, in just full of life. And you'll start to appreciate much more than you ever thought. So Cheryl Harris, thank you for joining us. She says, your depressive side had to experience death. Yes. Death of an old mindset that says we are not worthy. Yes, I get it. Beautifully said. And that right there, guys, everyone, not guys, guys and girls, beautiful souls, right there, when she says that, that's it. Death of an old mindset that says we are not worthy. Because it's not true. I mean, think about it. You're worthy. Just the fact that you're living, just listen to your heartbeat. It doesn't have cycles and seasons. The heart is constant, is consistent. Just think of a very loyal employee, and always there, a best friend, always there for you, always there for you. No matter if you slap this person, if you mistreat this person, they're always there for you. Because how many times have we slapped ourselves and the heart says, I don't listen to what you're saying because I know who you are. Cheryl Harris says, this is a great message. Thank you. Just a reflection, because you can only hear of the truth within you. So thank you so much. Awesome conversation with greatness. Thank you, Primo. Thank you, cousin. Irma Coit from Salinas, California, a cousin of ours. Blessings, Prima. We love you. Blessing to all our family, all over California, Arizona, Mexico, all over the world. And blessings to all our soul family, because we have a soul family. Blessings to each and every single one of you. My cousin says, thank you. Marta Alicia Espinosa. Voy a ir en español ahorita, muy pronto. Michael Post. What's up, twin? I want to connect with you. Maybe you're even I accidentally touched the button. Been wanting to connect with my dad's side. So Michael Post, let's connect, brother. Juan Cáceres, transverse is to cross ways. Exactly. Linda K. Hill, Carlos Kurtz, Great job, Carlos Curse. Thank you so much, brother. So I just want to keep it short. I don't even know how long I've been on here. Let me check. Okay, 30 minutes. I think that's good enough, guys. Let me just invite you guys to honor the fallen, honor those who have transcended, which people say died. Honor those who have transcended by living your greatest version, by embracing your greatest value and worth of who you are. Because your worth, your value, your love for yourself, let me tell you, does not take away from anybody. Doesn't take away from our Creator. Doesn't take away from life. It doesn't have bad side effects. Unconditional love for yourself, conditioned love does. Because if there's conditioned love, then if I don't get what I want or what I feel or then I'm going to reflect that into my reality. Conditioned love, where people confuse true love, unconditional love, is what damages a lot of our experiences. But unconditional love for ourselves has no ill side effects. It is what this world needs. Unconditional love. Just look at all the great stories. All the great people that have done so much greatness in the world. And they have this unconditional love. Peace. Compassion. Acceptance. Wanted to unify the world. So, we can't save the world. We can only save ourselves. So take the responsibility of saving yourself by dying to what you think you are and to what you believe you are. And take the costume off of the identity that you believed to be. Because even as great as the identity that you think you are, let me tell you, you haven't even tapped into nothing yet. Because there's so much more that even to this day, 5 years diligence and breaking illusions, which 15 years I was looking for illusions out there. But 5 years breaking illusions within myself. Let me tell you that I haven't even speckled the value, the worthy, the unconditional love that's within me. So I'm going to do my work. If you guys want to join the Samadhi experience and join the Samadhi journey and an experience from two beautiful souls, which my wife is right here, two beautiful souls that are doing the work, because when you align with people that are doing the work, it enhances your path. Because it's like this tuning fork. When one tuning fork starts vibrating, they vibrate those around them. So vibrate with us, because we're not talking, we're not connecting by accident. So who I see on right now, Daniel Bolin, he says holla. My cousin Juan Cáceres says most deaf. And let me tell you, I'm just so grateful to each and every single one of you. Olivia Quintana, I love you. Pepe, Tommy, all the family out there, I love you guys. And I've adopted a family. They've adopted me, Olivia Quintana, and in our second home in Santana, California, in Orange County. I love you guys. I love every single one of you, because beyond our biological family, which I love my biological family, but beyond our biological family, we have a deeper family. And this family is of love. This family is of compassion. This family is of truth. This family is of living life, embodying life. So thank you, every single one of you. I love you guys. Please share this video, because especially these days where a lot of people are affected by, this separation that thinks that, this is all I am. And when I go from here, that's it. I'm never coming back. And, I'm only in this world. I'm telling you from personal experience, you're eternal. You're infinite. You are worthy. You are valuable. You are loved. You are truth. You are what you've been looking for, looking at you. When we see each other, we see the divinity that we share. So when I say namaste, in Lakesh Alaken, so many different other terminologies, which, thank you. Thank you for every single one of you. Juan Cáceres says, love the truth that's in you. It's only a reflection, brother, because you couldn't see it. You couldn't hear it. You couldn't feel it. I mean, feel it if it wasn't inside of you already. I'm just a mirror. And I appreciate, and I love you too, Daniel. I appreciate all the compliments, the gratitude, but I'm going to tell you something. Give it to yourself. Because the way that you embrace and you appreciate Ali and I is by appreciating you. Because that's what it's about. And I know this is going to sound weird, but I'm very selfish. I get up in the morning and I take care of myself. Just like I brush my teeth, just like I comb my hair, I do my breathing, I do my silence, I do my visioning, I do my self-love, I do my reflecting, I do my reading, I do my gratitude, and I do my I ams. Oh yeah, he is I am him. Exactly. And Daniel says, I see you fully. Thank you guys. I love you guys. And please go back and listen to this video. Take notes. Feel this video, because the more you listen to it, this was very multi-layered, because there's so much truth in this video that I felt this energy that I desire to share with you guys. And just know that every time, and this is with everything, anytime you read a book, anytime you watch a video, anytime, anything that you see, just remember it's a mirror. Because it's just you, the vaster, more projected part of you, that is reminding you of you. And the whole journey of life is remembering, the divine remembrance. Because if you can look at yourself like a projector, a 360 projector, because we can't change anybody else. When we transform ourselves, we see the transformed version of everybody else, because we change the projection within ourselves. So there's a lot of nuggets in here, guys. I can go on and on and on, because, you guys already know me. For those of you that know me, this is my passion. This is why I'm so grateful for everyone on my life's path. Those who have stabbed me, those who have, betrayed me because they really didn't, those that have hurt me, whatever, I'm grateful. Those that have helped me, reminded me, served me, joined this path with me, our students, our family. Thank you to every single one of you, because every single one of you, the butterfly effect. You are so worthy. You are so worthy that one thought that you think and your embrace of yourself is creating a ripple effect, and it's transmuting everything that you thought you weren't instantaneously. Because I'm telling you from personal experience, I put a lot of, destructive thoughts out there, but the moment that I transform myself, I transform. Wherever all those thoughts are, wherever all those beliefs are, where all those programs are, they're transmuting in this moment. So just because if you've done a lot of damage, if you've hurt, if you've, robbed your own value, because that's really what we've done. It's just we reflect that. If you've done that, it's never too late. And the power of connecting to this present moment, it can do miracles and magic and unfold the mystery of what we see in nature, what we see in life, and what the greatest minds to this day haven't even touched the surface of who we are. And that's why they can't even identify nor quantify 99% of our DNA. It's like we're 99.9999999% energy. We're only 0.000000001% physical substance that vibrates so fast that creates this. Because we believe it, just like we believe $1 is worth value, and we use it, we exchange it, we appreciate it, and we even judge it, we've given it so much power when it's just a piece of paper. Because all it is energy. So this is an example that I'm using because I can use so many examples. Nothing is your truth deeper than you. You are the truth of the truth. Everything is just a projection of that truth. So I invite you to open up to the mystery, to the curiosity, to the wonder, by questioning who you think you are. So Daniel says, must know how to love yourself unconditionally. Only then you can know how to love someone else unconditionally. Truth right there. And Ali keeps getting booted out. So Ali, I'm about to, conclude this message to be continued, because Ali will be with us in the next one. I'm just going to do a Spanish one. But I really feel this message very strongly, because I see so many people, that are afraid of so many things, that are literally, just killing themselves by injecting the drug of fear. And when we can overcome fear, and I'm still overcoming, different, fabrics of fear, but I've broken through so much thick fabrics of fear that it's much easier as you practice. So it's basically what it's about today, is take it from someone who's personally conquered death, that the spirit within me that gave me that authority, that gave all of us the authority, that I've been able to conquer death, that before I didn't fear death, but in a very destructive way, and I actually wanted to die. Then now I really don't want to die, because it's so beautiful and it's so blissful, even in the most challenging and in resistance of circumstances. It really is blissful that now I don't want to die, but I'm not afraid to die, because I face fear and I die hundreds of times a day. And Ali can tell you guys, she sees it personally, and I see it personally in her, that it's just a practice. It's a practice of the art of letting go. And we can say letting go is dying. It's no different. So we're here to remember who we are. So I invite you to take the time to remember who you are. And Juan says, the 1% of our matter doesn't really matter. Right? It does, but it doesn't, because, when I go into meditation, it's like, I don't want to come back because it's so beautiful. But I've realized what Ali has helped me with is that if I judge this world because I don't want to come back, then I'm going to be angry, and I'm actually going to be imbalanced, because the practice of meditation is to embody the deeper truth of who you are and to birth it and to bring it into this dimension, into this world. That's bringing your heavenly body on earth. We are creating on heaven on earth, because heaven already exists on earth. But because we give this body so much power and so much truth, we deny and we neglect and we abuse our soul body, our spiritual destiny, our spiritual purpose. And let me tell you, you can never hurt that spiritual presence within you, but you can hurt and damage the degree and the relationship of your physical body within your spiritual soul body. So that is the only thing that we're feeling. And that's why when I tell people, when you lose a loved one, it's only a reflection of what you think they think. But when you let go, like for example, I'm holding on to resentment or guilt or anger because I've done something to them or they've done something to me, and I don't let that go, then I think that there's this bad, presence or whatever. And it's not that. They might not, be able to forgive me or whatever. It's not that. Where our loved ones are at, they're in pure unconditioned consciousness. They're holding the space for us to remember who we are. So when you can remember who you are, you open up the channel and the gates to tap into all of those beautiful souls, which you can call them your guardian angels, whatever you want to call them, because it's all just projections of the one consciousness that you are. It's so much to take. Trust me. It's so much to take that all this is me. All this is us. It's you and me. And we are one consciousness looking at each other, trying to remind each other who we are to the best of our ability. So I think that's it, guys. So unless anybody has any questions, any comments, I think we're good. Just embrace death. Because whenever I get the opportunity to share on stage, that's why people don't put me on stage. Because when they ask me, what do you want to share? Like, I'll give you the opportunity to get on stage. What do you want to share? I want to talk about death. What? No. Like, yeah, I think we need to talk about it. because of that reaction that you gave me, and several people have given me that reaction. That's the reason why we need to talk about it. Because we're so afraid to talk about it, that's why we keep continuing to be programmed, manipulated, and controlled by the illusion of death. But when we talk about it, we face it, and life is just the other side of death. It's a coin, heads or tails. So to embrace life is to accept death. Once you accept death, you embrace life because it's all one. So, thank you, everyone. And as weird as this sounds, embrace death. Right now, die to the resistance that you feel, if you're feeling it, feeling it. Die to the resistance that you're reacting to right now, mentally and physically, because it causes this like bodily resistance. Die to that. Because I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm inviting you that if you're open to do it and you have the courage to do it, I invite you to die a little bit to who you think you are. Because the fear is hindering the blessing and the opportunity and the gift of discovering who you truly are. So, thank you everyone again. Unless anybody has anything to share, I think that's it, guys. So does anybody have any questions, comments, observations, or even if you want to say why you don't believe this? Because if we can assist each other, I'm not saying I know everything. You can say something that's going to awaken something in me, because we are conscious mirrors reflecting each other. So I never claim to know everything. It's just my personal life experience. I have embodied that I don't believe physical death. I don't believe, just like I changed a light bulb and I put another light bulb on, the light bulb was the vehicle for the light. But the source, the essence, was the energy that's using that mechanism to fulfill its purpose, which is to give light, to bring clarity, to bring awareness, to see what's around me. So, I guess that's it, guys. Thank you, everyone. Blessings. Have a great, amazing, beautiful, soulful day. Thank you. Namaste.